book, it's not like I don't think about these characters. I literally think about these characters almost every day of my life. I mean, I was eating it up. It's just probably getting demoted to a 4. I honestly feel like I have no feelings towards it. I was right. This is the guy that I think about a lot. Good for you guys. Moving on. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is super fun. I honestly saw a bunch of other YouTubers do this first, so like not original at all, like most content on YouTube. But today I made a tier list and I'm going to be ranking all of my 5-star reads to see what maybe the rankings are now, because I feel like when I look back, a lot of the books that I kind of started reading with, I gave higher ratings than I feel like they deserve. So today we're gonna go through all of my 5-star reads and figure out which ones, you know, where they're gonna rank. The first one is Will Never Not Be a 5-star. This is basically obviously ones that are staying a 5-star. These will never not be a 5-star in my mind. They're always going to be that rating no matter how much time passes, no matter how many things change about my reading taste. The next one is probably getting demoted into a 4. Basically, when I read them, they were a 5-star, but looking back, maybe I don't think about the characters. Maybe I just don't care about the storyline really anymore, so you are not being promoted. You are being demoted. No feelings towards it. This is literally just middle ground. The next one is definitely ranking this lower. So basically, obviously these were 5 stars and now I'm like, no, this is definitely not a 5-star anymore. And we'll go over what I would probably rate it now if I put anything in this category. And the last section is what was I actually thinking? Because some of these books are like, actually what was I thinking? Like, I don't know, just what was I thinking? You know what I mean? Like, these are definitely not a 5-star. What was I thinking? Without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get into tier ranking these 5-star reads. Oh my god, I have to literally sit on the ground for this. Can we like reposition the camera? I'm so sorry. I normally don't like repositioning the camera while I'm already filming, but we have to this time because I'm sitting on the floor, I'm relaxing while we're going through these. I don't care. It's my YouTube channel, okay? Okay, first one on the list is probably obvious where it's gonna go for me. I mean, do I even have to explain where this is about to be? I mean, it will never not be a 5-star. Every time I look at this book on my shelf, let me just pull it out because every time I think about this book, I'm like, yeah, it needs to be shown. It needs to be known that I love this book with all of my heart. Literally, I would not be reading if it wasn't for this book, so this will never not be a 5-star. Even if, I mean, it's not like I don't think about these characters. I literally think about these characters almost every day of my life. But even if I didn't think about these characters, this will always hold a special place in my heart, so like, it would still always be a 5-star for me. Let's put it back before I go into like full detail about everything I love about the book, okay? Okay. This next book is The Couple Next Door by Sherry LaPena. I read this as one of the literal first mystery / thriller books ever in my life, so I thought that the plot twist was, oh my god! And also it was a short book. I think I own this one too, don't I? Yeah, I do. I'll show them to you, I guess. Honestly, when I read this book, I was flabbergasted, but looking back with now reading more mystery and thrillers, I'm like, this was nothing. It's still a good book. I still do recommend this book, but I think I'm gonna put it to probably getting demoted to a 4. It's just probably getting demoted to a 4. This is not a 5-star in my mind. When do I think about these characters? Never. When do I think about this plot twist? Never in my life have I thought about this plot twist after I had read the book, unless I was in the process of literally filming a YouTube video talking about it. So no. You're a 4. The next one is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I own this book too. I really don't want to have to keep pulling these out, but I guess that I will just for like the sake of you guys. Here's the book, even though you can see it literally on the tier ranking screen. You guys are lucky that I'm nice and want to like show you the actual books. So The Unhoneymooners I rated a 5-star, and I honestly, honest to God, can probably say that it's only a 5-star because I had read Love and Other Words right before it and gave that a 5-star, and I was just on a Christina Lauren kick. So I was just like, I need another 5-star by them. So then I rated a 5-star. I honestly feel like I have no feelings towards it. I never think about these characters. I didn't love the ending. I was just like, okay, good for you guys. Moving on, let me read another book. So no feelings towards it. Don't hate it. Don't love it. It's just there. Everyone please pause for this next book. Right here, Dance of Thieves and Battle of Thieves. I'm not pulling these out, even though I would love to because these are literally like one of my favorite fantasy books of all time. I got the duology recommended to me by my friend, and honestly, I can say that like I was not a fantasy girly before this. Dance of Thieves is single-handedly responsible for getting me into fantasy books, so I feel like it has to be, will never not be a 5-star. I mean, I just love the duology so much. I love all the characters. I feel like the first book, Dance of Thieves, focused more on like the romance and the 2 main characters, and then the second book was just kind of more of a character study about all of these characters, their families, their friends. Like, I was just like, I love when a book has found family. I love when a book has enemies to lovers, so I mean, I was eating it up. Next book is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I already told you guys that I like this book, so I think I need to leave it at will never not be a 5-star. The reason this will never not be a 5-star for me is just because the quotes in this book were so good. It's a childhood friends to lovers. Favorite word? You. I mean, enough said, I'll stop it right there. The next book is Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and this is going to hurt my heart. Literally right now my heart is shattered into a million pieces on the floor, but it is no feelings towards it. When I read Book Lovers, I gave it a 5 stars. Obviously, I mean, it's in this video. But I feel like I only did that because it was Emily Henry. And now in hindsight, I feel like I need to stop being so biased. And just because I love Beach Read and Happy Place and like every other one of her books doesn't mean that I have to like every single book by her. Even though I love this book and I feel like it's underrated. You know what? Probably getting demoted to 4. Because I actually feel like I do have feelings towards this book. I think about Charlie so much. Please tell me Charlie is the actual character's name. If it's not, we are moving it down to another category because maybe I'm mixing up the books. It is Charlie. Okay, it is Charlie. I was right. This is the guy that I think about a lot. He's very closed off, but he also needs a lot of like affirmations thrown at him of like, hey, you know, I still actually love you, right? I actually don't hate you just because you said a singular word. Just because you said hi to me doesn't mean that I hate you. And that's what I felt like Charlie was in this book. So I related to him a lot and I loved this book. I didn't really like the characters together. So it's probably getting demoted to a 4. The next book is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I read this not that long ago. I think like literally last month I read this book. I still have so much feelings towards this book. It could change in the future, but I honestly like can't see the future right now because the only thoughts that are crossing my mind are about Powerless. What is a girl to actually do right now? It needs to stay I Will Never Not Be a 5 star, okay? Because, come on. I love this book. I feel like Powerless is where it rightfully belongs right now. The next book is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, and a lot of you guys are going to hate me for saying this, but it's probably getting demoted to a 4. I honestly don't think about these characters very frequently. I mean, I do whenever like I'm thinking about a YA rom-com, but I don't frequently think about YA rom-coms. Spanish self-deception. I would say I have no other words, but I feel like I need to explain a little bit. I think everyone and their mother read this book. The second that Book Talk was trending, this was literally the Book Talk book that I feel like started Book Talk, at least for me. So I read this a long time ago, and then I did a reread of it not that long ago, like probably a year ago, and I still don't love this book. The first time I read this book, I gave it a 5 stars. I was like, this is insane, but also it was one of the first romance books that I have ever read. So how do you know that? How do we know that like you're mentally okay, Bryn? So this goes in the what was I actually thinking category. I didn't like this book really one bit, honestly. Like, I don't understand how I got through the book at all. I feel like I hated both characters. They have one conversation and one, I already hate them, and 2, like, why aren't you guys like actually communicating? Like, you're talking, but you're not talking. Oh, it like irks my brain when characters don't communicate. We just went from like the worst of the worst to like the best, Divine Rivals. Will never not be a 5 star. Need I say more? It was like the definition of like a rom-com-y fantasy book. But it also was gut-wrenching at the same time. I was crying. It deals with grief. It deals with love. It deals with heartbreak. It deals with war. That's how I feel about the book. Moving on. Serpent and Dove. I feel like I don't think about this book ever, but like when I am filming a video or like the book is brought up to me, then I'm like re-sparked by it. So I think this is gonna be probably demoted to a 4 right now. Okay, next up on the list is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. I read this when I was doing a 24-hour reading challenge, so I feel like that kind of messed with my head a little bit. Like maybe it's not actually a 5 star. I think I'm gonna put this in the no feelings towards it. I liked it when I read it and I was gagged by the ending, but like in hindsight, was I gagged by the ending because I wasn't mentally capable of grasping an actual good ending, or was I gagged by the ending because it was good? I don't think that it was good. This next one needs not a singular word to describe how I feel about it. I mean, through the span of my YouTube channel, I feel like I have already explained how much this book means to me. You could probably go to any of my book videos and I'll find a way to bring this book up. I love the story life of AJ Fickery with all of my heart. Let me just give you the synopsis of this book because I was shell-shocked, I was heartbroken, and I don't think I've ever fully recovered from this book, if I'm being completely honest. The first half of the book follows AJ Fickery, and it's him trying to like learn to love again after he loses his wife, so it is obviously tragic. And the second part of the book is his adopted daughter Maya basically learning to love again after she loses him. That's not a spoiler, by the way, so like don't fret, don't worry, you're okay, but I'm not. And read this book and you'll be there with me. Next up is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. Definitely ranking this lower. I don't think that if I went back and reread this book, like, I would have the same feelings towards it. Moving on, we have The Roughest Draft. I am gonna put this at no feelings towards it. When I was reading the book, I was invested, but the second that I put the book down, I was like, I actually not thinking about you guys. I liked it. And that's like the end of the story. Like literally just I liked it. Last but definitely not least is the upside. This is obviously going to be put in will never not be a 5-star because it will never not be a 5-star. This has single-handedly shifted the way that I think about things, the way that I go about in the world. I don't know what life was before this book, and I'm being so for real right now. I read the upside on Kindle and then I literally had to buy the physical copy. Go read it. It is so short and it is so good. It has shifted the way that my mind works. I feel like this book gave me a reason for living. That's bold, by the way, but I kind of do feel that way. I mean, this whole book kind of dealt with these two characters that are helping each other out and looking out for each other. Honestly, both characters are giving each other a reason to be alive. So honestly, here you go. Here's some recommendations if you want a 5-star read. Hopefully, I'm hoping, crossing my fingers for you, that you will get a 5-star read from one of these picks. Please let me know if you do. Please let me know if you've read any of these books. Just comment anything you want down below, except for like hating on me. Like don't do that, but like comment anything else you want down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love you guys so much. I will see you guys super soon. Goodbye.